Hello, welcome to my presentation for International Workspace Comparisons by Kevin Jerome Rivera Blanket. The purpose of this presentation is to expose different key aspects from three different cultures and analyze what the difference between them to understand more deeply how they work and what does that tell us from each of those cultures. Let's begin. So the cultures that we'll be comparing this time will be Japan, US of A, and Mexico. Key differences between each one of them would be in Japan, the culture expects from you to give everything to your work. Your workspace will be your new house, and your work team will be your new family. This is true as well for Mexico, where people are expected to work their butts off. Now, the difference in these two ideologies is that in Mexico, individuality is rewarded, while in Japan, it is frowned upon. It seems like Mexico is a middle way between ideas when looking at Japan and the US, since in the US, you are expected to be an individual, extraordinary, and to always bring results. Work schedules. We can look at the work schedules between these three countries and see the following. In Japan, the work schedule starts from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. Office hours for Mexico are from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., while in the US it's from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. We can see shorter office hours in the US. What does that tell us? Basically, that workers will be required to be at the workspace for less time. That means they have more time for themselves. Various studies in Forbes have informed that a less worked out worker will always be more productive than a tired one. Now let's see if the work schedules compare at all with the hours worked per year. Now in Japan, we have the least hours worked per year. It shows 1.71 thousand hours. In the US, we go slightly above the world tracker at 1.78 thousand hours per year, but Mexico gets off the race at 2.26K. Now let's talk benefits. Maternity leave in Japan is given at 14 weeks, while in the US it's at 0 weeks. A lot of companies give up to 10 weeks, but this is not required by law. In Mexico, 12 weeks are the standard. The income between the three countries is very, very different. In Mexico, the gross income goes slight under 20,000 US dollars per capita, whilst in Japan, it's slightly above 42,000, and in the US, it's 60,961 US dollars per capita. The unemployment rates show as follow. In Japan, we have the lowest unemployment rates at 2.4%, followed by Mexico at 3.3% and the US by 3.8%. The education level. In Japan, we have the highest education level, with most people having tertiary education at 51.4%. In Mexico, above 60% of the population have below upper secondary education, and only less than 20% have tertiary education. In the US, most people have tertiary education, followed by upper secondary education, and the least amount of people have below upper secondary education. In conclusion, we can see that there is a huge incentive for people in Japan to work. This is not ingrained only in their professional culture, but in their social culture. What that means is a strict work schedule where they will work a lot of hours, but not more hours than needed. In Mexico, on the other hand, people are worked to death, but their education level does not allow them or does not open the bridge for this amount of work hours to give anything to show for. I do believe that education is vital for greater incomes. In the US, we have people working more hours and shorter schedules. What that means is that they're pushing for overtime schedules, which would explain why they make more money. They are willing to put that effort in spite of cultural differences. So that's my analysis of these three cultures. Please let me know if you have any input. If you have, you can also follow up on the statistics shows on the OCDE and on the workloads for each country presented. Thank you again for your time. Have yourselves a wonderful day.